Hello, and thank you for joining the MMA Mic Drop podcast. My name is Jade Bunky, and I am joined by the one and only Milo McGregor, who is not only one of the nation's top up-and-coming amateur surfers, but also an emerging MMA analyst. But before we begin, let me just give a big, sincere thank you to all of you because YouTube sent this to MMA Mic Drop for surpassing 100,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. Please continue to watch, like our videos. Tell your friends about it. We're definitely excited to deliver more MMA content. So in today's episode, here's what we're going to do. We are going to predict who we think will be champ at the end of the year for every single weight class. And we're going to start at heavyweight. In the men's division, obviously there's no heavyweight in the female division. So naturally it's the men's division. Milo, by 2025, at the start of the new year, who will be the heavyweight champ?
I think Tom Aspinall, and I think for sure.
You think?
I don't have any doubt in my mind on that one. Yep.
Yeah, do you think it will be undisputed, or you think so? You're saying it will be undisputed. He will have both John Jones's belt and
Yeah.
the interim. Okay, I completely agree with you. That's who I would
Yeah.
go, and I have that's probably the most certain I am out of any of these weight divisions. It's Tom Aspinall will be champ because I think one or two things will either happen. One, he'll fight John Jones and he'll knock John Jones out, or he'll submit him. Or two, John Jones will fight Stipe, will retire and
retire.
Yeah,
and then he'll get the belt. Yeah.
Yeah, and they may have an open belt. I don't know how that works. If somebody has the interim, does that person automatically get the undisputed belt, or do you fight for that belt? But if they fight for that belt, it doesn't matter against whom. Tom Aspinall will beat him, because the only person that I think could beat Aspinall in the heavyweight division might be Pavlovich, and we already saw what
happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
So all right, we're in alignment there. So moving down to the light heavyweight division, we have Alex Pereira is the current champ. Will he be champ by the end of the year?
That's the question. I don't really know, because I think Magomed Ankalaev will be champion, but I don't know if it's by the end of the year. So we'll see. If not, I think Jamal Hill will be champion.
Wait, so you think Pereira is going to get past Jamal Hill? Because I know previously you talked to me, you said you were going to take Pereira on that.
I said that I said I was going to take Pereira, and then I've been looking at some Hill highlights, and I don't know. I think he's going to get it done.
Hill's going to be a problem for Pereira. Yeah, it's interesting that you picked that, because I see Magomed Ankalaev as being a problem for anyone in the light heavyweight division. I mean, he's so well rounded. But I'm not predicting him. I'm not predicting Alex Pereira. I'm predicting Jamal Hill. I think Jamal Hill beats Alex Pereira, and I think he defends his title probably against Magomed Ankalaev. And it's funny because Alex Pereira has the bigger name. I'm less certain about that outcome. Actually, I'm not certain about any outcome. But I do think Jamal Hill will get it done against Pereira. I think he will get it done more in a closer fight against Magomed Ankalaev, if I should put it that way. So you're picking Magomed Ankalaev by the end of the year, given that that he defends that
that happens.
Okay, that he fights Jamal Hill before the end of the year after Jamal Hill beats Pereira, and I think it's just Jamal Hill's gonna run the table.
I can see that, yeah.
All right. So right now we have in the middleweight division, we have Dricus du Plessis. Will Dricus du Plessis be the champ at the end of the year?
I don't think so. I think Israel's gonna get it back.
Wow. And so if Israel Adesanya, if he takes it back, do you think he'll have a chance to defend it? And if so, against whom will he? Because they'll probably fight in the summer, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think after Jamal Hill beats Alex Pereira, I think that if that happens, and then Izzy wins the belt, I think he could have a big fight with Alex Pereira, and he moves down.
Oh, you think? Oh, okay, got you. So you think Pereira will actually go back down to
Yeah,
middleweight.
if he loses, he'll move back down, I think.
Okay, he'll go back down to middleweight, and it will be Izzy's going to take the belt against um, Dricus Duplessis,
Dricus, yeah.
and then Izzy will defend it against Pereira, Adesanya Pereira 3 in the UFC. Correct?
Yeah. That's what I think is gonna happen.
That's awesome. It's funny because I think Izzy will be the champ by the end of the year. I have a little bit of a different scenario. I do think he's got to fight Dricus Duplessis. I think he beats Duplessis. I think he defends it against Sean Strickland. I think he beats Strickland there in a rematch. So that's who I think might get that shot next. But who knows? I mean, both fights would be interesting against Pereira um, or Strickland.
Yeah.
All right, now this.
So
Oh, go ahead. So now we're moving to welterweight, and I think welterweight. When you get into welterweight, and I think lightweight, those two divisions get a little more tricky because I think you have a lot of guys that have championship potential, particularly welterweight. I'm glancing down at my phone just to look at the rankings right now. I mean, I think there's a couple people who can be holding the belt by the end of the year.
yeah.
Who do you think it will be?
I think it's gonna be Shavkat if he gets the chance.
If it
Just because I think almost everybody could take the belt from Leon. In like the top like 5 could take the belt. Like there's a chance. So, but I think Shavkat's definitely when Shavkat becomes champion. I don't think anybody's gonna be able to take that from him.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting because I do see Leon Edwards as being quite vulnerable as a champ, and I look at him at a couple,
Yeah.
would I favor Jack Della Maddalena over him? I don't know, I mean that's
Yeah.
I mean how would Ian Gary do against him? And I'm glancing down and you know, and this is going to sound crazy for all of you watching, but how would Michael Venom Page do against him? I mean,
Yeah.
and then against Shavkat, to me, there's more certainty in that. I think Shavkat beats all those guys, and I think he
Yeah.
beats Leon. And I think they, since they couldn't make a non Bilal Muhammad fight with Leon Edwards for UFC 300, I think they'll give him that title fight maybe sometime in the summer. Um, and if the winner, defends by winter time, because I think Leon Edwards probably wins that fight. Although that's still I think a pretty close fight. Um, I'm going Shavkat. I think Shavkat. Again, if he gets that shot, I think it's Shavkat. Now, what I'm a little concerned about is, I think he's nursing an injury, and so if he comes back from that injury, when will that be? And how late in the year will that be? Will there be enough time to turn around for a title shot? But it's interesting. So far, we have many of the same names. But yeah, I'm taking Shavkat. And look, if it's not at the start of 2025, it's going to be he'll be champ shortly thereafter. Um, all right, moving to lightweight. Now, I've always loved the lightweight division. It is so incredibly stacked. A lot of people think that Islam has a stranglehold on the top spot. And I don't know. I mean, I think there's some worthy opponents, whether it's Charles Oliveira too. I think that fight will look a lot different the second time. Not saying he will win. Gaethje, will he be able to catch Makachev if they fight? What if Sarukian beats Oliveira and he fights? And and he fought Makachev early in his career, and or I think it was his first fight in the UFC, and took him to a decision. Sarukian's a lot better now. I think Fiziev is still a player in that division. Um, I'm going to let you go first. I'm having second thoughts. I'm looking at the list and I'm thinking I had a name ready, but who do you think it's going to be?
I think Islam's definitely gonna dominate through this whole year because I think Armin would be his best fight or Gaethje, just because like I think Islam just has a worse chin than Khabib did, and Gaethje tagged Khabib, and they fight very similar, Islam and Khabib. So I think that would be a hard fight for him, but I think that fight would happen in 2025.
Are you saying
So
what you think he has a better chin or a worse chin?
a worse chin, a worse chin.
Islam has a worse. His chin is not as good as Khabib.
Yeah, it's Khabib's.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think you will be in the majority. I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people will agree with you there. I'm going to throw something else out there. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be Charles Oliveira. I mean, it's he's getting at that age where I mean, he could fall off at any time. I think Islam is beatable. And it depends. When he gets that fight, there's talk of that he may fight Dustin Poirier next. I don't think Dustin Poirier gets it done. I think Gaethje does have a shot. I think I think Oliveira has a shot. I'm thinking Oliveira is going to beat Sarukian. I'm thinking he's going to get that rematch, and I think he's going to defend. And then we'll see if Oliveira defends throughout the rest of the year. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
and
think if Oliveira beats Sarukian,
it
I think he would definitely get the title shot.
yeah,
And
and
that,
this is
yeah.
go ahead.
Sorry, keep going. Sorry,
No,
I
and,
was
and
done.
this is what's tricky about lightweight, right? Lightweight is so stacked. I mean, there's so many different scenarios. I mean, I could see scenarios in which Islam loses. I can see scenarios in which he beats everybody, in the top 10. I really don't know. And I think that's why that division is so exciting. So moving
Yeah,
down to featherweight, Ilya Topuria just beat Volkanovski. He's your new lightweight champ. He's undefeated. He's looked remarkable. He's looked absolutely incredible. Do you want to go first on this one, or do you want me to go first?
yeah, sure. Um,
So which question?
I had a lot of trouble choosing this one, but I was thinking Max Holloway, and then I don't know. I think Max Holloway does have the chin, but I think Ilya is just like too strong. I think he's gonna stay champ.
Wow, you're so yeah. Ilya's looking really good. I'm going Max Holloway. I'm going Max Holloway all the way. I think they do fight again. I don't know what's going to happen with that matchup with Gaethje. I don't know if Topuria will defend, with somebody else before then, or if he'll defend against Volk, later in the year. Volk has said he wants a rematch. He will get a rematch, but he said he didn't need to be the next person in line. So or he said somebody else may go before him, but his next fight will be Topuria. Now, given that Max Holloway is fighting, at UFC 300 up a weight class against Justin Gaethje, a lot of interesting things can happen. If Holloway wins, does he take a shot at Islam? If he loses, how banged up will he be, and how much will have stocked have dropped? Will he need a bounce back fight before that? I don't know, but I am hopeful Max Holloway fights Topuria sometime this year. I mean, he's been unequivocally the second best fighter, in that division since he lost his title. And when he lost his title to Volkanovski, I mean, the first two fights were razor thin. So even though it shows 3-0-3 against Volkanovski, he was right in there. And those first two fights
Yeah,
could have went either way. And he's only 32. So I think there's still a lot left for Holloway. His chin, like you said, is absolutely insane, and I think he dominates Topuria. When they eventually fight, that's what I think is going to happen. All right, bantamweight. We have Sean O'Malley. Who do you think? Do you think he will be champ by the end of the year?
yeah. If he doesn't get anybody else this year, I think Marab will be champ.
So
If Sean Mallett doesn't get anybody,
I think
yeah.
he'll get Marab.
All right, yeah. Then I think Marab will be champ.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going Marab. I was also thinking Umar Nurmagomedov. I think they're probably going to fast track him, give him one, top 10 fighter, and then move him into a title fight. Will that happen by the end of the year? I don't know. And if he does, will he be able to beat Marab? Because I think Marab beats Sean O'Malley. Although I'm not as certain on that as I would have been, about a year ago with, Sean O'Malley. He continues to make remarkable strides in his game. And
Hmm.
but I think Marab puts that pace on him when they do fight. And I think you're right. I think Marab will be the next bantamweight champ, and he'll be the bantamweight champ at the start of 2025. All right, next up, flyweight. I'm going to let you go first because I'm not exactly sure who's going to be next on this one. It's Pantoja is the title holder. Do you think he's going to have it by the end of the year, or do you think he'll be someone else?
Yeah, I think he's already fought the best in the division, and he's beat him. He'll probably get another rematch with Brandon
Moreno?
Brandon no, not
Brandon
Brandon
Royval.
Moreno. Yeah, Brandon Royval. He'll probably get another rematch with him, but I think he'll beat him again.
Yeah, and
And
this
yeah, he'll stay champ.
so this is the interesting thing. So typically somebody this age, I wouldn't predict to maintain the belt, but he's beat everybody in the top 5. Or I don't
Yeah.
think he's fought Amir Albazi. I'm looking at it right now, but he's beat just about everybody. He's fighting Steve Ursek, at UFC 301. I think he, gets through him, and then he probably has one more fight. And I think the most likely person to beat him, it might be a rematch event against Manuel Kopp. But again, I don't know. I'm gonna take Pantoja. Again, I think he will be champ at the end of the year. So let me just pull up the women's rankings, and we'll go through that as well. Um, all right, women's strawweight. We have Wei Li, and she has a big fight coming up at UFC 300. You have Tatiana Suarez, who is undefeated. A lot of people think she's going to be a champ. And there's some other big names, but I think it's really goes down to Weili Suarez and John Yunan, who she's fighting at UFC 300. I think Weili runs the table. I think Weili will be champ at the end of the year. Milo, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think Whaley will be champ. She looks really good.
So good, yeah. She's fun to watch. All right, next up, women's flyweight. This is my favorite female division. It's so stacked, and I think there's more people here, more women here who are capable of winning the championship. Now, I think it's interesting. Alexa Grasso is gonna fight Valentina Shevchenko again, and if this fight happened right after their last fight, I would have picked Shevchenko because, given, but given Shevchenko's age, how much falls off now? I think time is not on her side, so I see her getting past her. But you know who I don't see Alexa Grasso getting past? And that's Aaron Blanchfield. And that's funny because Aaron Blanchfield has a big fight against Meno Ferrero, and that's a big fight. That's a big fight too. They're 2 and 3 in the rankings respectively. I think Blanchfield gets past her, and I think Aaron Blanchfield beats Alexa Grasso, and she will be your women's flyweight champ by the start of next year. What do you say?
I think Whaley's gonna move up and then beat Alexa Grasso.
Whoa!
And
Well, they
she'll be
were
champ.
talking about
Yeah.
a super fight for UFC 300. I know
Yeah.
Whaley's a beast. Yeah,
Yeah, I think she could, honestly.
that would be fun to watch for sure. So okay,
Yeah.
you're going Whaley's going to be a double champ and will be champ by the end of next year in those 2 divisions.
Yep.
Okay, this division. This is the UFC's poorest division. It's women's bantamweight. It's absolutely terrible. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Um, you can go first.
All right, Raquel Pennington. She is your champ. She will not be champ at the end of the year. It's going to be Kayla Harris. She's coming over from PFL. I think she's going to just clean out this division. To me, there's no doubt in my mind. Milo, what do you think?
Um, I don't really know who that is, but I'm just gonna go with Raquel then.
Yeah, so you're taking Raquel Pennington. I'm taking Kayla, and we shall see. So now here's what we're going to do. We're going to move into our next section called Kicking It with Milo. Milo, you had some pretty big competitions this last weekend, and just to let all the viewers know, this segment's an opportunity to learn a little more about Milo. As you saw in the intro, he is one of the nation's top up and coming surfers. And this weekend, he had a heavy duty competitive schedule. 3 contests in 2 days in different
Yeah.
cities. Tell me what went down.
So on Saturday, I had the WSA and the NSA.
Mhm.
One was in Oceanside, and then the other was in Huntington Beach.
And
And
for,
I couldn't do
yeah.
the NSA because it was on the same time of heats.
Mhm.
So I did the WSA, and I got 4th place in that,
And
which is
so,
pretty good.
yeah, and so 4th
Yeah.
place. So for those of you watching, that means he made it to the finals. So went all the way through the early rounds, through the quarterfinals, to the semifinals, to the finals, and it's a 6-person heat, correct? In the final.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 4th overall, so that's good. What age group was that?
That was the 18s.
Did
So
you
like
surf?
the real like
Okay.
yeah.
Did you surf 16 and under at all? Or
I mean, that's my division. So I did the open men's too, but I lost in the semifinals in that.
you made it to the semis in the open men's? Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Um,
This is-
all right. And then the next day you did the NSSA. And did you do under
Yeah, I did
16, under 18, or what did you do there?
under 18. That's what I did.
Okay. And how'd you do?
Yeah. I made it to the semifinals in that, and then I got knocked out.
Okay. And
Pretty good.
what
Yeah.
would you say your ranking was for the year in the NSA 18?
I'm number two
Nice,
in the for the year. Yeah.
nice. And how are you doing in the open men's?
For the WSA, I was number two,
For open
but I
men's?
don't know now. Yeah.
Good. Wow.
Yeah.
So you dominate in the men's, the under 18. What's up with the under 16? You should be crushing it.
Dude, I don't know. The kids are harder. The old guys are slow.
The older guys are slow. Oh my God.
Yeah, and it's more nerve wracking because there's more pressure.
Gotcha. Because you're supposed to win, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. All right. Well, that concludes this segment with Kicking Them with Milo. We're going to go on to our last segment. It's called Kook of the Week. I have a Kook of the Week, but it's from actually a couple weeks ago, but I forgot to mention it, and I do want to mention it. It's, again, the ESPN video editors. If you remember from a couple podcasts ago, I declared them the Kook of the Week because they showed a picture of a harbor, which was Newport Harbor, and they put Anaheim, California, which is far away from Anaheim, which is just so absurd. Not only does Anaheim not is not close to the beach, it's surrounded by a bunch of other landlocked cities. Well, this crime was not as bad, but it was for the buildup for UFC 299, and they're doing a segment on Cheeto. Because Cheeto lives in Costa Mesa. They show a picture of the boardwalk, and Cheeto he surfs in Newport. He's down there all the time and stuff. But they show the boardwalk, and then they're put Costa Mesa. Costa Mesa does not have a beach. so,
Yeah.
so ESPN, just try to be a little bit accurate. It's okay if you put the actual city or it's so
Yeah. I
and
saw that. That was weird. Yeah.
yeah, and then it did move into a place where they were in Costa Mesa, but it's like just come on, ESPN, just be a little authentic.
Yeah.
That's my kook of the week. Who's your kook of the week?
For me, at the NSSA competition on Sunday, in my first heat of the day, one of the judges missed my score, and I almost didn't. I wouldn't have made the heat, but my dad had a video of my wave, so he had to show the judges a video of my wave.
That's right. Your
They
dad
scored
told
that.
me about that they didn't score one of your waves and they just didn't
Yeah,
score it at all.
they didn't score. Yeah,
Yeah, which is crazy because yeah, for those of you who don't know, I mean, they're what 15-minute heats, and you get judged on your top two waves.
yeah. So it was important. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a pretty big error. So yeah, so
yeah.
so all right, that's the kook of the week. The judges who missed that. All right, well that concludes today's show.